Hello everyone, welcome to my online prep. Today we'll start with part 2 of chapter 5, that is knowledge management. In today's session, we'll be learning about information technology and database management in the banks. We will also study about the contemporary information technology, its benefits and usages, artificial intelligence, its prospects, as well as the importance of customer knowledge. So let us start with the first topic. If you remember that in the first part of this chapter, we learned about the different types of knowledge, under which one was tacit knowledge, or which is also known as the intuitive knowledge. This refers to the ideas that stay with the individual. So unless we utilize the ideas, unless we can evolve a system so that the ideas they can be used, they can be captured and shared by all the people concerned, we cannot actually hope that our organization would have success. So to use this information, database management is done, and it is done using the information technology that is available. Now a computer software application that is known as a DBMS, a database management system. Herein, an interaction is created with the users, applicants, as well as the database. Database refers to the collected knowledge, and this can be used to capture and analyze the data. All the data that is available to us, it can be used, it can be captured and analyzed using this software applications that is known as the DBMS. And herein, the main reason why it is created, it is to allow the definition, creation, querying, update and administration of various databases. So here we can say the enabler is technology. Technology is the enabler. It can impact various factors for the organization, such as considerably reducing the cost, which is referred to as cost cutting, and also increasing the operations in an efficient manner, so to improve the quality of how the services are provided to the customers. This at any time can be made possible because of the innovations. Now a database that is used or created centrally is known as the centralized data warehouse. Warehouse is a place where any products are they can be stored. Similarly, where the data is stored centrally, it is known as a centralized data warehouse. Here all the data relating to the customers of all the branches of a bank, it is stored, and it should be stored in such a manner that the required information, it can be used at any point of time, at any point without any delay. So for total automation of the branches, that is making all the processes automatic using technology, this is done so that this information can be provided anywhere, so that the banking experience to the customers is efficient and hassle free. So the new technologies are making knowledge less dependent on direct contribution by employees as only the means of acquiring new knowledge. That is, the employees, they will acquire new knowledge. This knowledge will be stored automatically using the database management system. It can be retrieved, used and shared among the various users. So here we have emphasized the use of technology, automation and various innovations. So technology is important. How technology is leveraged in the various knowledge management tools. There are the network computing, groupware, intranet, emails. These make large scale knowledge sharing possible among geographically distributed employees, because banks, they have branches that are distributed all over the regions in various states, cities, as well as rural areas. So the data that is collected at each of the branch, it can be used centrally as well as locally. This is made possible because of the current use of technology in knowledge management. These technologies are these are the driving force towards the availability of information, and they are the key driver of knowledge management. And enhanced technologies, the users can rate and categorize the data, the knowledge, so that it reaches the right people. New technologies are also being adopted. They are making knowledge less dependent on direct contribution by the employees, such as data mining. We have studied about data mining. It allows for gaining new knowledge by analyzing the past performance. We can see from the past experiences, the past performance, and then we can do this. A method is known as regression. in which we see the past performance and then we see what will be the future course of action. This is data mining. Then electronic access to external sources of information, so that it can provide rich resource to create new knowledge. External sources, these can be the news reports, then surveys that are conducted by various internet sources and so on. And third, video conferencing, application sharing and electronic meetings, they can also be used as enabling enablers for sharing knowledge. So this is how new technology is being used. Now we will discuss some of the knowledge management tools that are commonly used. First tool that is actually most commonly used by all the organizations is the online discussion forums. These are the discussion groups on the online manner, such that exchange of ideas and information can be done in the organizations or the teams that are geographically separated. They are located elsewhere, not at the same place, and the team members, if they want to share the information, they can do so even if they do not share the same office. So the team members, they would be having a common platform so that they can share their ideas. So efficient manner is provided to get specific answers and keeping everyone informed. Second, online conferences and collaboration. Again, this is also an online platform. Meetings and collaborations, this makes it easier for the employees or the people who are working in the organization to communicate and collaborate with each other. Here, a chat feature is provided so that one person can talk with multiple people at the same time. Also, even at Google Meet or Zoom meetings, you would have noticed a whiteboard feature is provided or sharing screen is provided so that people can share the information, even diagrams, through diagrams as well, using a sketch or displaying graphics. Then instant messaging. It can help us share information every day. More people can collaborate. They can collaborate with their co-workers, immediately share information, they can share locations, they can also share pictures, graphs, documents, etc. So it has an advantage of connecting people in a real time basis. The information that is sent is immediately received by the receiver. Then communities of practices. So these are subgroups. People who have a shared specialization, interest or project, they can ask and answer questions as well as passively read about the practice areas, such as there is Quora. On Quora, you can post your questions and the people who have the same interest, they can answer it. Users can ask question and discussion forums also help sharing the information. Then document and content management. It is actually a systematic method for storing, locating, and keeping track of information that is valuable to business. Documenting, keeping it safe and secure. So it can increase productivity by workers. They can reuse the existing documents that are already published and they need not carry on the same steps over and over again. They can use the information that was previously saved. Then web intelligence, it brings together some key pieces vital for an organization's survival, such as the organization's information, public relations, and market intelligence needs as well. So it can be used also integrating the organization. They can integrate with the customers. They can offer time independent blend of services on real time basis. And then finally we have personalized portal interface. It is a great motivator to receive and share information, and different users are able to have different home pages based on their roles. They can select, like when we visit the Chrome, here there are certain shortcuts. Even on your laptop's window, you put some shortcuts to the applications that you use most frequently, so we can customize our own web pages. One single screen on the computer enables the user to find relevant information in minimum possible time. So this is how database management and information technology, it helps make knowledge management even more easier. Next, we have the role of contemporary IT tools in knowledge management. We have been discussing the IT tools. Contemporary means the new generation, the new innovations that have been used and they are being used in the knowledge management. So knowledge management has definitely become the key factor for the success of all the organizations, and they are utilizing the information and communication technology so that they can facilitate knowledge and information management. Thus, the ICTs, they have a very important role to play in knowledge management initiatives, and in the current business environment, the implementation of knowledge management has become easier with the help of this new technology that is available. So the value of knowledge management is more when made available to the right people at the right time. This phrase, we have been seeing this phrase a lot many times. Right people at the right time. Whenever we need a certain amount of information, we get that. So right people at the right time. So knowledge sharing is facilitated through information and communication technologies. This includes computers, telephones, emails, databases, data mining, search engines, video conferences, and so on. So recognizing the importance of information technology is the first step so that it can be implemented. The existing products are being modified as well to reintroduce as knowledge management products. Computer applications have also been modified to provide user-friendly interface, and now there's actually no single technology that fits the criteria for knowledge management system. So technology, it is changing, the technology is changing, and with the evolving scenario, the needs that are coming forward, we need new or contemporary technology. So there are some technologies that are available, it can be used to contribute in the knowledge management environment of the organization. So first under this we have the intranets. You know about internet. What is intranet? It is actually a network that is created by some private, or we can say local restricted network. For example, there is the LAN, local area network, so it comes under intranet. They have widespread across organizations for sharing dynamic information. Any organization for sharing their personal information, they can create the local area network or intranet. Now it can be divided into two components. First is the technology infrastructure and second is the web server. So technology infrastructure, it includes the universal web server, thin client, HTML forward, IP networks, and web server is the repository for content. That is, the web saves the content and technology infrastructure, it collects the content. So that comes under the intranet. Second, we have the document management systems. These act as the repositories, as the store systems for the documents or the explicit knowledge that is provided, mainly for creating, processing, and reviewing the documents that were previously stored, that can be used again for the organization. And these, some of the organizations are actually approaching organization wide knowledge management that is based on document management itself. So it is definitely very important how the information, they can be integrated, and however they are not used as a complete basis for knowledge management, as knowledge workers, they resist to use highly structured document management for creating and processing the complex documents. Thus it is not very widely used. Still it can be a beneficial tool for knowledge management. Third tool is a dashboard. It is a visual display of the most important information, whatever information that is required as the first step, or whatever information that tells the one or more objectives that have to be achieved. It is provided on a single screen so that it can be monitored at a glance. So dashboards, these are interactive and they provide the most graphical user interface, and it is the visual display. So they have some characteristics. First, all the visualizations fit on a screen computer, that is on one screen all the information is provided. If we need to scroll to see more information, then it will violate the definition of dashboard. All the information will fit on a single computer screen. Like this is a computer screen, all of this information is provided here, you need not scroll. That will be a dashboard. Second, the most important performance indicators or performance measures have to be monitored, that is contained on the dashboard. Basically we can say it is an introductory page, all the introduction. Then interactivity, it should be filtering, drill down, that can be used. It should be interactive, not a proper static. then it is not designed exclusively for executives, but rather it should be used by the general workforce, as effective dashboards are easy to understand and use. It should not be complex. We need not have very high level use how technology can be used only then, but we should have the dashboard that is easily understood by the general workforce, and the displayed data automatically updated without any assistance from the user. So it is an automatic process. So these are the characteristics of using a dashboard. Then we have the information retrieval engines. Retrieve. To retrieve means to take out. So this acts as the corporate text repositories or storage platforms for searching through the internet. They exist in many organizations as a knowledge silo. So all the information that can be used is contained in this information. We can search it through the intranet of the organization. Like for example, vendors, they are continuously adding new features as relevancy ranking, then natural language summarization, and also for satisfying the needs of information. So herein vendors, they can use the information retrieval engines. Then groupware and workflow systems, these are used in an organization for communicating and collaborating among the work groups and departments in formal or ad hoc conversations when the users, they cannot communicate in real time. So it can be said that groupwares are important technology for exchanging the information or exchanging the tacit or intuitive knowledge. On the other hand, workflow. So groupware is for the intuitive knowledge. Workflow is for collaboration or codification of knowledge for transfer practice. Now, how we can codify the knowledge so that it can be transferred further. For example, in the proposal generation system, it can be considered where workflow system will facilitate the preparation of structured and ordered information. So workflow will create a structure for the information, and groupware will share the information. Then brainstorming. Brainstorming means bringing out new ideas, convert the tacit knowledge into explicit knowledge, and these practices are useful in creating. It helps in categorizing, organizing, and identifying the knowledge resources. We use brainstorming session in which we generally throw out ideas, we share our ideas. And then finally, we have data warehousing and mining tools. Organizations, they create data warehouse and provide managers with mining tools so that they can take decisions based on the complex set of data that is available. So the knowledge management system also provides access to the data, whereby open database connectivity, also structured language is provided. Data mining, they can also use the data, they can extract the data according to their needs, subject wise, and so on. So this is how the contemporary IT tools are making knowledge management even more efficient for organizations. Now, when we are discussing about technology and its use, this discussion is incomplete without artificial intelligence. It has certain prospects and benefits. It is not a new concept. We have been using artificial intelligence since very long. The history goes back to the 50s in the banking industry. Along with that, machine learning, natural language, they can also be processed, and decisions can be made faster and more accurately because of artificial intelligence. And now through machine learning, natural language, the decisions can be made even more faster than was possible in the past. Now despite this achievement, the success in virtually all industries or banking has taken a more cautious approach, because definitely there's a heightened interest in AI. Increased interest in AI has been seen because of both the capabilities as well as the business needs. Capabilities means the needs that it can satisfy, the benefits it can provide. Also business need. If the banks or organizations, they're not using the AI intelligence technology, they can actually fall back in the competition. So there's a huge amount of structured and unstructured data that is available. New technologies such as cloud computing, machine learning algorithms. This has brought rising pressures by new competition. There is increased regulation. Customer expectations have also changed. So now a perfect storm has been created for the expanded use of artificial intelligence in financial services. So the benefits of AI are definitely widespread. This can reach the back office operations. These are also related to the compliance function, the customer experience and expectation, how products and services are to be delivered. So suddenly bank organizations, they can work with large histories of data for every decision that is made. Now let us see how adoption of intelligence in banking has been done. Though artificial intelligence has been there in the banking industry since long, still facts have shown that most banks and credit unions are still in their early stages of adopting these technologies. One such research or survey was conducted by Narrative Science in conjunction with NBRI. There is the CSIR NBRI, or National Business Research Institute. It is actually one of the most constituent research institutes, and it is located in New Delhi. So, according to this survey, 32% of financial services executives that were surveyed, they confirmed that using AI technologies such as predictive analytics, recommendation engines, voice recognition and response. So that is 32% of the financial services. They were using AI technologies. These technologies were being used by them. Now, firms that had not adopted AI in the survey, there were challenges such as they feared that failure could be faced. Then siloed data sets and regulatory compliances were cited. These were some of the reasons why they had stated that they had not yet adopted the artificial intelligence technology. And then there were 12% of the overall group that were actually weren't sure, that they had not yet understood why AI is to be used. They felt it was too new, untested, or weren't sure about its security. So there were three categories. 32% were using it for the reason. Then there were some people who were fearing to use it, and yet another 12% they were not sure about artificial intelligence and its usage. Another key challenge for many organizations was there was no clear internal ownership of testing the emerging technologies. That is, only 6% of the surveyed, they had an innovation leader or an executive that was dedicated to testing the new ideas and processes. Now, not having a person or department that is assigned to testing the new ideas is obviously a problem. So these were some of the reasons why the artificial intelligence technologies, their adoption is still in the early stages in the banking sector in India. Next, there's a huge explosion of data, structured, unstructured data. It is swarming in to the organization. This data is being collected, analyzed, and applied to solutions more extensively and faster. So this is made possible because of the artificial intelligence. It makes possible to automate the vast amounts of data, analyze the data, and apply it at record speeds. New cognitive based solutions are also provided. They provide more proactive and personal customer experience at lower cost. So better technology means lower cost. This is driven by AI's ability to build knowledge at a high speed. It also enables to understand the natural language and run operational processes in a fully compliant fashion. That is, all round function is performed by artificial intelligence, starting from understanding the language, then building the knowledge, and then run the operational processes. Now, there are two biggest challenges that still remain in banking. This is the absence of people experienced in data collection, analysis, and application, and the existence of the data silos. So, the people who are experienced, who can actually use artificial intelligence, they can generate and innovate the applications. There's a lack, there's a shortage of such experienced people, there's a shortage of the skills required. All of these facts, these have been seen in the research that was conducted by Narrative Science with NBRI. So the good news, however, is that many data firms now have the capability to do a workaround. They can collect the data from across the organization. So this is the positive point. Although there are certain challenges that have been faced and they have to be addressed. Then we have the benefits of artificial intelligence in banking. Now, earlier there was hesitation in the industry. They were not ready entirely to commit to artificial intelligence, and there were several use cases as well. There were frauds that were increasing because of artificial intelligence complexity, and then the earlier generation that was employed, they faced problems. But then today AI is actually primarily utilized for risk management and fraud detection. Now most banks are still in the process of expanding AI through their entire organization. They do understand that definitely artificial intelligence is very beneficial, but still they are skeptical. They're not entirely sure about adopting it completely. It helps banks to manage the huge volumes of data at higher speed and also derive valuable insights. Features such as AI bots, digital payment advisors, these lead to higher quality of services to a wider customer base. So these are some of the benefits that have been experienced by the banking industry, that is using the artificial intelligence. One of the most important benefits provided by artificial intelligence is enhanced customer personalization. It was seen in many reports and researches conducted that showed the retail banking trends and predictions. Also could be seen the power of personalization, that customers, they are willing to share their personal information if they can receive custom advice, offers and services based on the shared insight. That is, they're themselves willing to share their personal information if the banks can provide them customized services. So these personalized communications, they can be done using the AI without human counterpart, without the help of human interference. So AI can provide online wealth management services through automated algorithm based portfolio management advice. For this is actually one of the many examples where AI is used to provide personalized services to the customers. For example, with the help of AI, algorithms can be created. They can regularly rebalance the portfolios to maintain the original investment. And beyond robo advising as well, many other of the larger financial institutions globally, they are using AI to improve the personalization of offers and communication, and it is expected that to improve further the customer experience, AI will be primarily used by the financial organizations. Another important benefit is increased gains, increased productivity gains. Now from customer communication flows to basic back office processing. That is not only communication flows, also back office processing and operations. AI can be used for the repetitive processes to make them more efficient and effective. Without human intervention, all the repetitive processes can be done automatically. For example, the customer queries that are faced by the banks on a regular basis, they can be answered using the AI robots. And once it could have been a very tedious task for the process of bringing in new customers, providing them communication, this has become now highly personalized because of the activity post opening of artificial intelligence. And now this level of personalization, it was actually impossible without the benefits of machine learning and AI. Another area where ongoing update is needed is the compliance requirements, wherein customer information documentation and even frequently asked question responses, like we said, the frequently asked queries regarding, it could be opening of an account, regarding the ongoing interest rate, the different loan services that are provided. So these are the frequently asked questions, and they can be answered using the AI. And with the foundation of continuously changing facts and product updates, all the related communications can be changed immediately as well. So productivity gains is provided, increased efficiency and at reduced costs. Then we have fraud detection. This was actually one of the earliest areas where artificial intelligence was used in the banking industry. Like we also studied earlier, fraud detection was the earliest uses of artificial intelligence. Now there are ongoing review of account activity patterns that can be monitored, and thus patterns that are involving any aberrations can be flagged for further review. That is, AI can automatically detect if there is any unusual activity in the account of the customer. So over the decade, AI has not only significantly improved the monitoring process, but now it is also able to respond in real time to potential fraud. For example, if there is any unusual activity like a big transaction that has been taken place from the account of an account holder that is a regular wage earner, then that transaction can be stopped or blocked, and the same information can be provided to the customer. This is possible because of AI. So real time potential fraud prevention is provided by AI. According to narrative science, again the research, for example, FeedSci use machine learning to evaluate transactions and millions of data points in real time. The company maintains an operational model and a challenger model that it constantly evolves as the threats change. And when the challenger model becomes more effective, it replaces the first model and a new challenger is created. So narrative science, this company, it uses machine learning. It can see a operational model is there that is working, and a challenger model is provided as a pilot model. So if the challenger model, it is seen that it is more effective, then it will replace the original model or the first operational model, and then now the new challenger will be created. So this is how fraud detection can be provided by AI. And finally, we have better customer recommendations. Beyond more personalized communication, there's also the ability to have improved customer recommendations and advice. There are mobile banking apps like Movin and Simple. It lets the user track their spending and increase their savings with automated personalized recommendation via a specialized debit card that is linked with their smartphone app. So these are just one of some of the examples. So customers can get better advices if they have different objectives. If they want to save more, if they want to have a more personalized spending, if they want to keep a track on how they are spending monthly, that can be done. For example, Brett King, CEO of the Movin, believes that AI will take over many routine tasks that are associated with product recommendations and advice. Again, he told Narrative Science that for me, advice is the next big disruption. For instance, in banking, you need a real time advice. So, the ability of humans to provide that is poor, and as humans, we are inconsistent and we make mistakes. Artificial intelligence will not. He believes that artificial intelligence is more efficient than humans because it does not make mistake, it is not inconsistent, so it will act as better advice giver for the customers. It will provide better recommendations to the customer. Some more new imperatives in artificial intelligence have come in front. We'll be discussing it in further chapters. But here, for now, these are the benefits that the banks can have by adopting the artificial intelligence. So how can database management add value to the customer services in retail banking? This is our next topic. Actually, this is one of the most important function or factor why banks are adopting database management. That is, they want to lure new customers, they want to attract them with several services, and it has also become a necessary in the current area because of the cutthroat competition that is emerging. So presenting one's products in a decorative package of services in an attractive manner, it can be personalized or any other manner, it is inevitable. Banks have to enter into the competition and they have to provide the add-on services or additional customization. Also because of these, the financial services have undergone several changes with the change in the business environment. So the very nature of marketing, earlier only general or basic marketing was done for banking products, but now more customized marketing is done. So there are various studies that are conducted as to how database management techniques are used by banks, particularly in India, and it has been made a part of everyday customer services by various sectors of the bank. So the databases of the clients, here they can play a very important role, because when we want to customize the services, we need information as to what features will attract the customers more. So now highly competitive environment has made the marketing of retail banking a very challenging job, definitely. And studies are conducted as to how database can be used among these banking institutions so that the customers they can be attracted towards the products and services. Also, banks are no longer restricted to any particular area of finance. They are entering into several sectors such as consumer or retail banking, corporate banking, rural development, industrial development, etc. Also, a number of foreign banks such as Citibank and ABN AMRO, they have found Indian markets as highly attractive and profitable avenues for their business. This has been made possible because of the emerging use of database management. One of the most vital sources of knowledge of a bank is the customer knowledge. So what is the relevance of customer knowledge in knowledge management? Now, banks in India in general, except a few foreign banks and the new generation private sector banks, they are yet to put in systems for how they can create, maintain and update the suitable customer databases and how they can use this more advantageously for various managerial decision making. This line here means that we are the public sector banks, the banks in India, they're not yet able to put in place a database management system, how they can well utilize the customer information. Various decisions have to be made. Decisions they include how customer segmentation can be done based on various parameters. They have to study the behavior of the customers in respect of the facilities that are availed by them. Then they have to launch various innovative and tailor-made products that can cater the different customer groups and segments. So various business intelligence softwares have been used by foreign banks, but they're not used by the banks in India. These are known as the business innovation softwares. So these innovations they can help in making banks meaningful decision. And today in the world of cutthroat competition, customer centricity, that customer is at the center, has emerged as a strategic importance for all the organization. Thus customer relationship management has become even more important. We know that it refers to the various practices, strategies and technologies that are used by the companies to manage and analyze the customer interactions and data. This is not just a one-time thing, rather it is throughout the customer life cycle as long as the customer is associated with the organization. The objective is to improve the business relationships with the customers and assist in customer retention, that the customers stay longer with the organization. So the application of the CRM concept on the entire organization, this will help the entire organization in a all round manner. And herein the this results in the development of the must-have products and services and also customer optimization. We can use the information to analyze as to which products are the highest demand, which are demanded most by the customers. Also, customer optimization provides highest satisfaction to the customer. So, to support sound CRM systems in bank, it is expected out of the knowledge management system. They are expected, they have the responsibility to provide proper maintenance of the relevant and up-to-date customer database so that the use of IT applications can be done for generation of meaningful reports and statements for making the correct decisions regarding the products and services provided to the customers. Thus, the decision making on aspects such as which products should be launched, how they should be modified, how customer segmentation can be done based on the various parameters. This becomes very scientific and meaningful if a proper knowledge management system is put into place. So nowadays very advanced softwares are available for data mining as well, which can be used for acquiring the customers, increasing the value of the customers and also retaining the good customers. They are used very constructively by some of the dynamic and foreign banks. So data mining also helps in marketing of the bank products. Now let us see what are the areas where knowledge management can be used. So knowledge management is used for business innovation. It actually contributes significantly to bring about both products and process innovation. And in any business, no doubt, the fact is there that business innovation is not caused by chance. Rather, it is a result of deliberate and systematic effect. There's a need is felt, then a systematic innovation is done towards achieving the particular goal. For this, careful analysis of the opportunities are done. Strengths and weaknesses, again, SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is done by the organizations. So, knowledge management, it can act as an important enabler for the information or innovation efforts of the bank because it provides the latest and the relevant information of various factors such as the changing customers' tastes, how demands are changing, their aspirations and preferences, profitability, etc. So the development of new products and processes can be done very effectively. It can be cost effective with the use of knowledge management. Then knowledge management is also used for assessing the loan risk. Now it can provide tremendous inputs in assessing the risks that are associated with a loan proposal. It can make use of the latest knowledge discovery and data mining software. This is known as KDD. If you remember, we have also studied about KDD in the previous parts. So knowledge discovery and data mining softwares, they can be used. These systems can extract the unknown useful information from different databases, and they can be used in the same given application. Accordingly, we can predict how the customer can repay, the repaying behavior, the credit risk that is associated with the loans. Hence, we can make sound credit decisions. Finally, knowledge analysis. It is actually not easy to identify what knowledge differentiates between one bank and another. Thus, the process of identifying the specific skills that will contribute to the success, this is known as knowledge analysis. It is not an easy task. So, constant practice is required. Leadership among banks will depend on which bank leads in the knowledge. In India, if we talk about in the 70s and 80s, then Citibank in India was considered quite dynamic because of its innovative products. So this is an important information, that is in the 70s and 80s, Citibank was acting as a leader because of the innovative products that were being used. So this is how these are the various areas where knowledge management can be used in banks. All this information discussion has made clear how information technology is used in the present sense, but how we can see the historical perspective, it will give us an insight as to how the establishment of systemized banking was done in India. We can talk during the British Raj, there were a few banks such as the Presidency, Imperial Bank of India, and the joint stock banks who were the major players. And apart from these, there were a few scattered organizations also that belong to the small and large kingdoms that were dealing in lending. Informal credit was provided. They were also providing mortgages and banking activities. Then by 1930, the Banking Inquiry Committee established the Reserve Bank of India. Then started the actual banking, who was given the supreme power of monetary control over the rest of the scheduled banks. This kind of control and supervision further extended over the rest of the framework of the organization, and it gave boost to the bank deposits. Earlier that was not there. Bank deposits was given a boost. Further, this was followed by establishment of various development banks were established, then cooperative banks were there, regional rural banks, etc. With so many banks that were now prevalent, the customer now has a large choice in front of them. Attracting the customers and retaining them thus became a challenge. And to be able to do that, banks should be in a position to understand their own resources. Till 1993. Now we move on. Till 1993, the information technology was a low-key initiative as the trade unions were reluctant to allow large-scale adoption of technology. They thought that if technology would be adopted, then people, they would be laid off and it will create unemployment. So what happened? They were reluctant to let the banks use higher technology. Then, hence in 1993, a historical settlement was entered between the management of the banks and the Indian Banks Association and the representative trade unions. They now agreed to allow the large-scale technology adoption in banks. They understood that the public sector banks they had to adopt if they wanted to keep continuing their business. This settlement sets the tone for creating a level ground for the public sector banks. They could now compete with the new generation private sector banks. So with the introduction of technology, more and more number of banks are turning towards the modern techniques to find out as to how they can systemize their functions. Each bank has a huge amount of information that can be used in direct and indirect manner. Still, it is very essential for the banks to be able to maintain the data. Not only having the data, but maintaining the data is important so that it can be processed in a required manner. Thus, it is necessary that the banks have to understand the explicit, implicit, and also the implied meanings if they want to evolve clear trends and patterns of customer behaviors. Before we finish with the chapter, it is important for us to see a formal definition of database management in banks. We can say that it is a collection of the related data that is organized for efficient retrieval and manipulation. How the data can be collected so that it can be used in the future for making efficient decisions, that is known as database management. The name of the customers in the database could be obtained from internal as well as external sources. They may also have been created to make the specific requirement of the banks. Most organizations now make, or they at least try to make, optimal utilization of the database in their marketing activities as well. Like we discussed, because of the increasing competition, such kind of marketing that uses the database is known as database marketing. So if the question arises related to what is database marketing, it is using the information that is collected for the marketing purposes. And it can be also described as a direct marketing technique, that is from the use of data collection on actual as well as the prospective customers. Now, since banking is a service industry, most of the transactions are dependent on the type of relationships that the banks share with those who trust them. That is the customer relationship. In other words, the relationship marketing can also be termed as the pillars of the bank's stability. If the quality of the service that is provided meets the expectation of the customers, then only they would have a trustworthy relationship with their banks. So these databases can also be called as the customer information files because it contains all the information. They have to be indexed and scored accordingly to the profitability of their purchasing a product or service. These are known as the good customers who are there for a long-term relationship with the banks. And with technology, databases have been integrated and logically used to produce personalized packages for the clients. It has become more possible to provide them personalized services. One of the direct and earliest applications was done by the mailers or the booklets. We use booklets of information that is provided to all the customers to advertise the bank and give information. So to understand the specific type of service and meet such expectations as closely as possible, that is the main objective of database management in banks. It also follows a specific methodology. This methodology involves various methods that are used by banks. You only need to know the terms. You need not go in detail. There are certain segmentation techniques in which we divide or segment the customers based on various parameters such as their demands, preferences, and so on. Customer clustering is done. Again, clusters or groups are made. There are the data mining technologies in which we can retrieve the data. Online analytical processing methods are there. E-retail, in which retail banking products are provided on the internet. Database conquest marketing is there. Telebanking, using communicating to the customers over the telephones, and call center or call processing units. So as we have discussed, data management is done through the application modules. These are the application modules that are driven by the information technology. So the database management system, we have studied DBMS. It is a computer software application. It interacts with the user, application and database, and basically for the definition, creation and updation of the various databases. This is the main function of database management as well as its methodology. And the last term that we need to know here is data mining, which is also known as data or knowledge discovery, discovery of data. How we can analyze the data from the different perspectives and we can summarize it into useful information that can be used to increase revenue, cut cost, or both, whatever is the objective. That is known as data mining. That is collecting or analyzing data for useful purposes. So it is a software, it is again a software wherein a number of analytical tools are used for analyzing the data. It allows users to analyze data from different dimensions, also categorize it and summarize the relationships that are identified. Technically, the data mining is a process of finding correlations or patterns among dozens of fields. Correlation means the relation, coexistence. There are positive relations, correlation, then there is negative correlation, and then there are neutral or zero correlation. Positive would be if one factor and another, if there is the x and y variable, they are working in the same direction. If x increases, y increases. Negative, opposite direction. If x increases, y decrease. Neutral means there is no correlation between the two factors. So we can actually identify the type of correlation that is existing. So towards a systematic approach to knowledge generation, banks need to introduce data warehousing and data mining. They can do so by leveraging the information technology for its competitive advantage so that the pool data can be used as a source of knowledge and intelligence to the workforce. So most knowledge is generated through constant learning, research and development, and the application in work arena. So the banks have to encourage its employees to take up research. Also, effective platforms should be created as to how data can be shared. So this is the whole importance and relevance of database management in the banking industry. With this, we have come to the end of this lesson. Keep learning with us. Thank you.